everybody, it's Mandy from Trouble Forge. So I haven't done a kind of like what we're doing for meals sort of video in a while, mostly because I usually am nauseous by like 4 or 5 o'clock. And so whatever I'm going to get done, like once I get up, I need to like hurry up and do what I'm going to do because the impending nausea is coming. So today I actually feel pretty decent. Both littles slept really well, pretty well. Zuzu was only up once, so that was really exciting. Jamie slept all night. They are 2 and 4. And then of course, you know, I'm up to pee every 2 hours because I'll be 16 weeks pregnant on Friday, but I feel pretty decent nonetheless. So this morning, Zad wanted to try kind of an experimental breakfast. I have talked to many of you who usually enjoy our kind of creative meals and sort of breaking outside the box sort of meals. So this morning I am getting some sourdough waffle mix together. So I'll show you how to make that. I have some sausage links that I thawed last night. I'm just going to put those in the air fryer, probably for 10 minutes. Get that going. We hadn't really made a plan for breakfast, but I shared yesterday on social that I kind of take the Lisa Bass at Farmhouse on Boone approach to meal planning because I can't meal plan. It doesn't work with our schedule. I use that term so loosely, which is why it doesn't work. Or my personality. I'm just too willy-nilly. I tried meal planning a couple times. My mom is excellent at meal planning. Like, she's the best at it. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And I got the little calendar paper, and it's just not for me. So, which is fine. So I keep this 9x13 in here, or if I need this 9x13, I rotate it out with something else. But I have a roast in here, I have some bacon, I have some loose Italian sausage, and I had those links. Zad had mentioned about doing these waffles, so while he finishes getting himself together for the day, I'm gonna get that sausage made, and I'll show you my favorite, no fail, sourdough discard recipe for waffles. We've used this recipe many times. I learned about it during the pantry challenge. And it's just really great when you have an overflow. I kind of purposely make extra discard. Like, I'll kind of gauge it. Like right now, my starter's down like teeny. I did 2 loaves yesterday that I'm gonna throw in here probably during breakfast. They're in the fridge currently. But if I'm low on discard, I'll purposely make extra discard because there's just so many recipes to do with discard. So let's get started on the waffle mix. All right, so again, I am just not I wish I was, but I'm just not like an organized recipe person. So what I did during the pantry challenge actually is I took these old school folders and I have a sourdough, meals and condiments and canning, ferments and remedies, baking treats and non-sourdough baking. Put them in these folders, and then within the folders I have savory or bread and sweet. So over here is my waffle recipe. It's almost always on top because it's one of our favorites. So this is from the Clever Carrot. I think I've mentioned this recipe, but I don't know if I've like walked through it. It's super easy. So I'll drop the link to it in the description. You basically just need basic waffle things. Sourdough discard, milk, butter, or whatever kind of fat. I usually use lard. Egg, flour, sugar, baking powder, salt. And then if you want to make the topping, we don't typically make the topping because Zad does some other kind of crazy topping, but we'll get working on this now. All right, so this recipe is technically for 4 waffles. I always double it regardless of who's home because waffles can sit here on the counter and the littles can have them. My discard almost always has hooch on it. You can stir that in. I usually just dump the top part to the chickens because they'll love it. All right, so I'm gonna do a cup of discard. Again, I'm doubling this. I'll put the original recipe in the description so that you can do however much you need. This little teeny silicone spatula, I use this thing like literally every single day to get maple syrup or honey or discard or whatever kind of mess out of a cup that I need to. All right, we need to get milk, fat, egg, flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. So here. All right, so I wanted to show you this because everyone always asks about my long-term storage. So I'll drop my pantry tour in the description, but what we do is we keep smaller containers. Bud's in here being Bud. All right, so we keep smaller containers in the Hoosier of baking supplies, and then I have these big barrels. So this is just my like riffraff flour, my good bread flour I keep in the short-term pantry in a smaller bucket that's about this size. Because I'm making bread so often, it's just easier. So Bud is refilling that container for me, and then we can get back to our recipe. All right, so we have a great local farm. I say local, like 30 minutes down the road. that we usually go get 12 or so gallons of milk every other week. We got this handy little spout thing from them. So we need 2 cups of milk. Obviously, you can replace this with any kind of other milk that you like, cashew milk, almond milk, whatever it is that your family can enjoy. So we got 2 cups of milk. I thought I turned the video off, but I didn't. All right, I need 6 tablespoons of butter, lard, tallow. You could probably use coconut oil, whatever. Again, whatever it is that your family likes. I happen to have lard. I mean, I have butter out too, but I usually use lard because it's a little bit cheaper for us to make than it is for us to buy butter. We are, of course, I said, buying raw milk. So I could, in theory, make butter, but it's just not super cost effective when we have to go buy the milk. If we had a cow at some point, or hopefully when we have a cow, we can make our own butter, but we're not there yet, and that's okay. All right, then we need 2 eggs. My chickens are kind of being buttheads right now, unlike the whole rest of the world. Everybody's got their videos out right now about... They always are. Our chickens, like, I think they're molting. Our chickens are always off for some reason. Like, they're on a whole nother planet than the rest of the chickens in the world. So we're only getting like 4 to 8 eggs a day, which seems like sufficient. But when all 6 of us are home, we usually go through a dozen eggs just for breakfast. And then if I bake or do whatever, if we use eggs with dinner or something, then we're short. So whatever, it's fine. All right, so we got our 2 eggs. We need 2 cups of flour that Bud so lovingly went and filled for me.
No, it's a world that smells just like crustaceans.
We just watched Willy Wonka, like the Gene Wilder version, and so everyone's been singing "Come with Me"
Gene Wilder
every day.
And yeah,
all right.
It's the
and
new one's good. What?
Oh, the new Wonka. I thought it was really good.
But Gene Wilder, I think, still takes.
It's just a different story. If you haven't seen the new Wonka, you should watch it. It's really good. It's kind of like his
Hashtag not spawn.
Not spawn? Oh, not sponsored. Sorry, I don't know all the the words.
Pretty basic YouTube.
All right, so we did our flour. This goes for a tablespoon of sugar. Frankly, I skip it because we always put some sort of fruit or something on top. It's just really not necessary. We need our sea salt, so a teaspoon of sea salt, which I don't measure and it's fine. And we need baking powder. All right. So we're having really heated discussions about Bluey over here. All right. So we need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Again, that's for the doubled recipe. All right. So we got that. We're just going to stir this all up and then it'll be ready to throw into the waffle iron. All right. So sausage is done in the air fryer. Zad, what are you doing? Cutting that up? He's cutting it in half. So like a hot dog. So he's got his batter ready. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna have to go out to the.
Like a hot dog.
Yeah. Well, a hot dog.
They're already in the shape of a hot dog.
Whatever. I need to go out to the coop and see if we have enough eggs out there because there's only 5 eggs and we really need 7 would be nice. Jamie usually skips an egg. Zad and Bud and I usually have 2, and Zuzu usually eats 1. So I'm gonna go out and see if I can scrounge up 1 egg. If not. We have the old freeze-dried to rely on if we need to go that route. So we're here in the short-term pantry. I have a video about this pantry because Zach put in, see if I can show you, all these shelves for my jars, and it's fantastic. All right, so over here, show you what this looks like. Over here, I have my barrel with bread flour, which, like I said, I just keep in this pantry because I use it all the time. I keep a cup. Oh my gosh, are you there? So I keep a cup in here because I'm in here all the time feeding my starter. So I don't measure my starter or when I feed my starter. So I do like a heaping cupish. And then I'll go put some water in it till it's the right consistency. And that's it. All right, so I have my bread flour in here. If the loaf I just put in doesn't rise super well, it's 100% my fault because I had my starter in the fridge. I fed it and then it wasn't quite ready that night. So I let it sit overnight and it was pretty bubbly, but it wasn't like super bubbly. So if it doesn't rise super well, that's totally my fault because I was trying to rush it and get it done, which whatever. It'll still taste fine. I'm not super worried about it. So we're going for like muffin batter consistency on this. Something like this. And that's it. I'm gonna let this sit on the counter, and I'll probably work on another loaf sometime tonight. I have the one in the fridge, the one that's going in the oven. So you've seen our beloved thrift store waffle iron before. We got it for $3, and it's from, I think I looked it up, it was from the 80s, I think. But anyway, Zad put bacon grease on it, and then what are you doing?
I just did bacon grease because it really lets it release really well, and you're not sitting there trying to pry it off. So we're going to take the pancake waffle batter. Once this is up to temp, I'll fill the 4. We're going to take the sausage links that I cut in half. We're going to lay them in here like this.
On top of the batter.
On top of the batter. And we're doing a savory today, so I'll probably get a little sprinkled cheese put on top. And then I sweet potatoes, so I think that's my wife's subtle hint.
I was going to do that before we were doing waffles, but that's 2 starches. So why don't we just do this, and I'll go see if I can find some more eggs in the chicken coop. 1 measly egg. I'm sure we'll get more. Our chickens usually lay late in the day. It's like, I don't know, 11 maybe or something. They usually don't lay all their eggs till like between 1 and 2. So we might get a few more. Chickens are like, they're great. I love having chickens, but we brought our chickens from the other house. Some of them were older, so we ditched them, killed them off. And then we rescued a small flock, and of course they were not happy about that because they don't like changing homes. We put in a new nesting box. I really probably need to get some more hens because I have a decent flock out there. I have my guineas, my ducks, some roosters, but I really probably don't have enough hens. So we're working on that. I currently have duck eggs in the incubator, and as soon as they're done, I'm going to hopefully gather up enough of these to try to incubate. That's going to be a fun task because I'm going to need, you want to incubate them between 3 to 5 days and no later. So hopefully I can gather up enough to fill the incubator. All right, so Zad put down the first layer. He put the sausage on.
Thin layer.
Yeah, thin layer, put the cheese on, and now he's covering it with more batter. All right, so these look perfect. Color's perfect. They look awesome. So that's our first flat. Zad's gonna make Zuzu some scrambled eggs because we only have 6 dippy eggs and she doesn't care. She'll eat a scrambled egg anyway. Got my Dutch oven in. I'm gonna put the cookie sheet underneath and hopefully prevent a little bit of burning. That looks amazing. Like a
Stuffed
super,
waffles.
right, super tidy waffle sandwich. All right, so Zad's finishing up breakfast. We have our cheesy sausage waffles, banana with a little cinnamon sugar, 2 dippy eggs. We got our milk ready to go. Usually what we do for breakfast is, obviously big people get big plates, depending on what we're having. Little people get little plates. They each get a metal cup because they're prone to breaking things. They also get metal plates, which we brought in from the camper because they've broken many of my Fiestaware dishes. We probably should just do a full swap until we don't have little kids, but it's fine. And then I always just, and I'm sure somebody's gonna cringe at me and tell me how gross this is, but we all drink out of this. It's great especially when all 4 of us are home, even Matt's here or whatever, we all just drink out of this. Saves me so many dishes.
Builds up
the immune system. Everybody's very healthy. It's all good. All right, so we added some maple syrup to the top of this. Zad's getting a couple grapefruit ready. We got a bulk, order. We picked up bulk citrus. It actually came from Sam Putt, which is the same place that I see lots of other people talking about. There's an Amish family near where we get milk, and they have the bulk citrus. So that worked out really great. We were able to get that, this grapefruit, and the mandarin oranges are just unlike any other citrus I've ever had. It comes from California. It's delicious. And the orange, just the regular old oranges, so good. So I hope that we inspired you for breakfast this morning. See you guys next time.